where there were no Tigers. Bulldogs will take the point and their first lead of the night, 9-8 Westerly. And nice serve, a little knuckleball action. Miscommunication, they're going to have to dump it over. They are able to. And Riddler, back set by Storr, tries to catch him off guard. Nice bump by number 17. And a deep spike attempt out of bounds. Bulldogs take the point and a 2-point lead, 10-8 here. Game 1, best of 5 match. Tolman gets no break to jump right into a tournament tomorrow morning. Westerly gets the weekend off. No better way to kick off a weekend than with a Friday night win. And the serve, knuckleball deep. Set goes backward. That's the beauty of the serve. Has shown the ability to serve in many different facets. Hard liners, knuckleballs. We've seen them deep. We've seen them short. And we got a timeout by Tolman. That's momentum right there. Call that timeout. So we got a minute break. The Bulldogs have a 3-point lead suddenly. Tolman jumped out early to a 4 nothing lead, in fact, and held it all the way up to 8-4. And the Bulldogs are on a 7-point run now, the largest run by far. And Tolman kind of kicking themselves in the foot a little bit. Out of the Bulldogs' 11 points, I do believe 8, at least 7 are on unforced errors. I'll say 7 for the Bulldogs. So there's football action going on a little while tonight. I mentioned earlier. I will update you as we go. I don't think this is going to be a quick one. These are pretty even teams. Best of 5. We may see 5 tonight. High quality teams. Top of the division quality volleyball in front of us here. Serving for the Bulldogs still with a 3-point lead. The sophomore Storr. Shortstop for the Lady Bulldogs in softball. Serve deep, bumped far, and the set off. Dumped back over Gervasini. And the spike by Federico just goes a little too far. Good effort, and that's going to be a side out. Score 11-9, so they break the 7-point run. Puts a little halt to momentum, a little bit anyway. Let's see if the Tigers can go on a little bit of a run of their own. Trying to see the number on the jersey as to who is serving here. And that will be saved by Gigarelli Beauty, but nobody can handle the bump. Ace, 11-10 score. I do believe that is going to be Isabella Gomez, the junior, serving for the Tigers. 11-10 score we have here at Federico Gymnasium, folks. The serve to the middle. Gervasini gets her hand on it, close to the net. Storr saves it. Put over by Federico. Set by number 11. Low set. Bulldogs going to do what I needed, a miracle. Unable to handle it. First contact went backwards. A little bit sloppy on both ends, to be honest with you. We have an 11-11 tie, and these are it's a battle for second place. A little bit sloppy. Both teams guilty of some unforced errors. And we have a whistle. Substitution here. And we're good. The serve. Beal, bump. Storr set. Federico spike. Doesn't get better than that, folks. A, B, C. 12-11 lead. Bulldogs. If they can do that every time, that's a formula for success. And Riddler will take over the service for the Bulldogs. The whistle. Here we go. And that's a beautiful serve. Low liner. Tigers cannot handle it. 13-11 lead. There's life in both squads. (13-11) here, deep and handled. Could have caught a break there. Settled for the dump over. And Bruno is able to find a spot in no man's land for the Bulldogs. Steals a point. 3-point lead. Bulldogs 14, Tigers 11. Game 1, best of 5 here. Federico Gymnasium. We are Westerly.live. And the Bulldogs with another ace. 15-11. The score. The serve by Riddler. And unable to be able to handle. That's another ace. That's 4 straight. That quick, 16-11. Beautiful serve. Tigers went with a bump attempt. Into the chin it went, and out of bounds. Here we go. And that serve, knuckleball deep, and set in the back line. That's a nice set by number 11, though. They dump it, and that's too far. Another point by the Bulldogs. We're getting to the point now where pressure starts to creep into things here. Bulldogs 7 points away from a game 1 victory. Don't want to look that far ahead for sure, but serving the way she's serving, she's making it tough. And number 1 for the Tigers, able to bump it too close to the net for her teammates, and that's another ace for Riddler, 18-11. 7 straight points for Riddler, looking for 8. That'd be the most in the game. Bumped backwards, set deep. They're going to have to dump it. They do. Nice job. Gervasini's having a good night. Federico to Beal to the back line. Handled number 11, main setter deep. Spike attempt into the net. Sets are going a little bit deep. They're not setting up towards the net. So the Tigers are struggling near the net at the moment. Side out, 19-11 Bulldogs lead. And the gap starts to widen here. 8-point lead, 8 straight points for Riddler. And that one's going to go into the net. I should have shut my mouth. 19-12 the score. Tigers will take the serve, and now is when they're going to have to cut into this gap a little bit. Bulldogs only need 6, so whistle, and here we go. Serve. Bumps. Tried to save it by Storr, unable to do so. First touch by Bruno. Ace by the Tigers. That is number 1, Letitia Timas, the senior. The whistle, and we're getting ready for the serve. Here we go. The serve, that's going to go out of bounds. So no run here for the Tigers. They flip-flop, side out. And serve will go to Federico for the Bulldogs. Serving with 20 points and a 7-point lead, 5 away from game 1. Crowd's a little quiet here. And the serve, a beauty. Bumped again, and they're going to have to dump. Nice job saved number by Federico. Bump set, spike. We have a 2-touch, and the whistle goes to the Tigers. Unfortunately, that was good offensive set by the Bulldogs. Federico had 2 good hits and set up well for the Bulldogs point. Side out. Here we go. And this has been the best service thus far for Tolman. This is number 5, I believe, Daniela Escudera, the sophomore. Wearing white. And bouncing the ball here. And now it's ready. The jump serve. It's a beauty. Beal, nice job bumping it back in. And she's going to dump it. No communication there with a bump backwards. They're going to have to dump it over. Unable to do so. Free Bulldog point. Nice job. 21-14 Bulldogs. So an early little onslaught. Tolman trying to hang on. And the Bulldogs now separating here themselves. Storr takes a break. Pelican in. Beal with the serve. 21-14 Bulldogs. And that one's deep. 21-15 Bulldogs. Side out to serve for the Tigers. Number 17, the junior, Jacqueline Silva. And number 22, Melanie Castillo gets a break for the Tigers. She is a junior. And the serve, high and deep. Handled by Riddler, set by Beal. And Simmons with the spike for the point for the Bulldogs. And serving for the Bulldogs, Summer Bruno. Simmons, Pelican up at the net, and the net is where the serve goes, so that's going to be a side out. And 22-16 the score. And the ball is back, as is number 11. That was a quick break. Here she goes. This is Hannah Adenaya, a junior for Tolman. The serve low and hits the net. It's a let. It's a point. 22-17, 5-point lead. Bulldogs need 3 to close out this game 1 with a victory. It would take 8 from the Tigers. And this one's going to go deep, and Federico sets it. They're going to have to dump it over, and they do. Does it stay in? No. Point goes to the Tigers. 22-18. Mass timeout call by the Bulldogs. Good time for the timeout. So this is a good little matchup here for Friday night. A little Friday night action, anyway. We are Westerly.live. We're a product of Nomad Web Solutions from the mind of Shane Belanger. Cutting edge web design and development. Live streams. We've got weddings, memorials, fundraisers, board meetings. Go to nomadweb.solutions. If anyone out there is buying or selling or interested, I don't know, but if you are, you need to contact Mark Wright, your local realtor, Coldwell Banker, Coastal Homes. Your satisfaction is Mark's first concern. All your housing needs, buying, selling, market analysis, whatever it may be. And we are back to action, number 11 with the service again, looking for 2 in a row. And that's a knuckleball deep, handled well by Federico. Set, far side, Simmons with the spike blocked, and still in action. Pelican saves it. And number 11 tapped by the Bulldogs. Federico keeps it in play, close to the net. Saved by, I believe it was Riddler. Beautiful job by the Bulldogs. Oh, and it goes to the back line. Great hit by the Tigers. The Bulldogs let it go. Now it's a 3-point lead. A little frustration. Well played by the Bulldogs. And number 11 serving here with a real chance for the Tigers to serve. Knuckleball deep. Handled well by Federico. Set. Spike attempt by Riddler. Handled on the back line. A good set. Backwards bump. Federico bump. Beal set. Simmons spike. Bumps backwards and way out. Number 5 brings it back. Number 17 dumps it. Handled on the back line by Bruno. Riddler with the spike. It's a missile. Beautiful play by both teams, really, but even better by the Bulldogs, who had to set their offense 3 times to stop this Tiger run on that volley, and it was a beautiful job all the way around. The bumping by Federico, the setting by a multitude of players, and then finally putting it down by, is Riddler for the Bulldogs. Big side out, 2 points away from victory. So the Tigers cannot give up 2 points here. Gervasini, missile deep. They let it go, and they make the right decision. Quick side out, folks. 3-point game. Huge opportunity here for the Tigers. 23-20. It's only game 1, and it is getting down to the point. I said they were evenly matched on paper, and they sure are on the court as well. The serve. Gervasini with the bump. A good one. Beal set. Close to the net. 2-touch. Unforced error goes back to Tigers again. 23-21. You are getting your money's worth here, folks, tonight. Especially because there's nobody at the door charging. And the serve. Bulldogs get the break. Break they needed. Game point. And the Tigers give them the opportunity for game point. Simmons takes a break, and we get Storr in for the set, the sophomore multi-sport athlete. Obviously, coach likes your service deep. Bump by the Tigers. Bump straight up away from the net. Soft spike. Put back up by Storr. Beautiful job. Tries to catch him off guard by a back set to nowhere. And the Tigers got to make it over, and they don't. Game 1, Bulldogs 25. Tigers 21. Well played by both teams. Pretty much goes the distance. Not really all that well played. They played pretty well. But there were some errors on both ends for both teams that made it be what it was. That being said, evenly matched on paper. We got 1 game in the books. It goes the Bulldogs' way, 25-21. And we will be back in a moment, folks, while we head to a break. Welcome back, folks. We got a minute and a half, and we will start game 2 action. We are here at Federico Gymnasium here in Westerly for some Varsity Lady Bulldogs volleyball. The Bulldogs were looking towards a good season coming into this year, having only graduated one player last year, and they're playing like it. They fell in their first game of the season to the current division leader and unbeaten Central Falls, and they have not looked back. They got 3 wins in a row at the moment coming in, and they have a Game 1 victory. Game 1, it was a tale of two sides because the Bulldogs get the all-important W in the game. It was kind of sloppy both ways. They're still in a huddle with their coach, but you definitely take the win. They're now 2 wins away. This is a best-of-5 matchup, and a very important one to take sole possession of second place. And the Dogs are ready, and they're ready to take the court. Last game, we covered the Bulldogs dominated 3-0 victory versus Shea. And then when I mean they dominated. They won the first 3 games by scores of 25-3, 25-15, and 25-12. You're not going to see that tonight, I don't think. I don't think there's any quit in either of these squads, and there is a lot of talent. And we haven't quite tapped into it 100% yet. But the coach is still giving instructions, so she knows it as well. Regardless, all that being said, Bulldogs steal game 1. 2 games away from a Friday night division victory. Division placement on the line. The official getting some final roster numbers and names. Decent little crowd here at Federico Gymnasium. The football team will kick off in about 15 or 20 minutes over in Newport. If we are still here playing, I will give you updates as to scores. And I think we're ready. So the Bulldogs getting the weekend off after this, so even better incentive. Go into the weekend taking Friday night victory. All-important victory, get Saturday and Sunday off. Not the case for Tolman, as they are in an all-day event, from what I could find, tomorrow, some type of tournament at Mount Hope that the Bulldogs are not partaking in. And we're looking here at the start of Game 2. Game 1 to the Bulldogs. Beal opens it up. Serve. Beauty deep. Deep and fast. Nice bump. Nice set. Spike number 17. Riddler one-handed. Good job. Storr brings it back. And brought back over. That's Fazaro. Bumped. And number 9 for the Tigers. All the way back. Federico to Beal. That's Fazaro again. Spike. Handled by the back line. And Tolman has to save themselves, but they find a spot with it. Number 11 for Tolman finds a spot. Barely got any hand on the ball. First point goes to the Tigers. Have no fear. Last game, first 4 points went to the Tigers. Again, kind of sloppy. It is Friday night, and these people are in high school, and they may have plans. But can't look past this one, that's for sure. That's for certain. Set to serve for 2 in a row to open things here. This is number 5, Daniela Escudera. To serve. Lets it go. Falls inbounds. Thought it was going to go out. It did not. And that is 2 straight service points for the Tigers. That was a real good location. Back corner, nobody there. Riddler deep for the Bulldogs. Set by Federico. And Peliquin's first real spike attempt of the night. And a hand goes on it for the Tigers. They did not know. It's a Bulldog point. And that's going to be the first point of the game. The score 2-1 Bulldog, 2-1 Tigers. Bulldogs will serve. And that will be Ari Fazaro, the senior for the Bulldogs, who went on a long run last game at the serve for the Bulldogs. Huge help in the middle of the game. And this one goes a little too far right, offside of her hand. And the score drops to 3-1. And we have a substitution on the Tolman side of things. Number 7, Jacqueline Silva at the serve. Nice line drive serve. Bump goes out of bounds. Riddler had really no control over that bump. That serve was a rocket. Timeout early on in this one. Wants to turn things around. Game 1 started 4-0. Game 2 starts 4-1. Like I said, I don't think either team's going to go away. Both of these teams are, we might be here for the long haul tonight. And that's good for the Bulldogs because any tests early on in the season are a good thing. They kind of got to bounce back and realize that it's not like their last game where they just breezed through 3 straight. Bulldogs have a lot to offer as far as talent and as far as how far they go in this division. Teams play together for a while. And as I said earlier, they lost only one senior. The bump by Federico, set by Beal. And Simmons with the spike, handling the back line. Set by Spike, soft spike, back line to Federico. Set, near side, Riddler, soft spike. Back line, handled by soft spike over, Fazaro. Bumps, Beal sets, and Riddler with the little dink, handled. And a soft spike, handled by Fazaro. Back set by Pelican, that was a beauty. Oh my God, nice spot by the Tigers. As a two-hand set over. Find the back corner, take the point, 5-1. Pretty good volley. Not 100% clean, but regardless, the Tigers walk away with it. Crowd getting excited for the Tigers. And the serve. That's an ace. No Bulldog can get there. No Bulldog even tries to get there. And we have another Bulldog timeout. And I think that timeout, so quickly off the last timeout, I don't know if I would do that 100%. You see how excited the Tigers are because they know they forced that second timeout. They know that's almost a signal of panic mode, and it's way too early for that. 6-1. Tigers very, very excited. Bulldogs an extremely talented squad. Can eat up this lead with no problem whatsoever. I've seen them do it before. And the Bulldogs use the entirety of the timeout. The Tigers take the court. The Bulldogs have 5 seniors this season, all active players. I have them all highlighted in yellow here because they're on the court the majority of the time. So this is the year they've been fighting, looking forward to this season. And as I said, they are producing. Looking to overcome a 6-1 deficit. And it starts here. The serve by number 17. Barely touches the net, but gets over. Low missile. Don't know how exactly you handle that. Federico could not get to it. Another Tiger point. 7-1 Tigers. And this one deep. Federico bump. Beal set. Pelican with the spike. And it's a good one. Score for the Bulldogs. 2-touch for the Tigers. I was waiting to see what exactly the problem was. And that's an important point for the Bulldogs. A little side out. In comes Gervasini, who played well in game 1. She really did a great job with her bumping. And set to serve now for the Bulldogs. Offense is set up. Gervasini again sets him up with the bump. Beal. The Riddler, spike, good point for the Bulldogs. The senior puts it down after the senior set perfectly for her. So the junior at the serve gives the Bulldogs their second point in a row. Bulldogs with a 4-point deficit. Tigers have 7. Bulldogs have 3. The serve into the net. They can't get on a run. 8-3 Tigers. Quick slide out for the Tigers. So just not getting into a rhythm at the moment for the Bulldogs is kind of the problem. I don't really know how to explain. The Tigers are playing better. Their serves are hitting the mark. And if the Bulldogs let it go, it comes in. That's a good save by Gervasini. They almost hit the mark again. And it's a bump set. Soft spike attempt out of bounds. Bulldogs let it go and get the point that time in an important side out. Score 8-4 with substitution. Simmons out. In comes Storr to serve. Seems like they call her number to serve when they need a point quite often. And they're going to be able to do that for a few years coming. The serve just over the net. I thought that was directly into the net. Didn't even touch the net and then dove to the court. Ace. So the substitution was an ace. And we have another one ready to go. Ari Fazaro, Summer Bruno coming in. And Ari Fazaro getting a little break. And the serve, back line, number 5 with the bump. Set by number 11. A nice set, no one really going for it. And that's a nice bump to the Tigers, who have an offensive set for a soft return. Really not getting into an offense. The Bulldogs, nice try for deception. A little back spot. And again, nice block attempt by Federico. Falls to the ground. Tiger point. The Tigers are really, all of their sets are, 4 or 5 feet from the net. I don't know, it looks like almost intentional at this point. It's like where everyone is. So they're not really having the opportunity to put down a spike attempt. They're all getting to the middle line of the Bulldogs. That serve by number 20 into the net. Side out. Bulldogs break. They'll take it. But if the Tigers could just get that serve closer to the net, I think the Bulldogs would have a few more problems than they do. But they'll take it. The serve by Riddler, the senior, to the near side and out of bounds. Bulldogs unforced error. Don't take advantage, don't take momentum, and don't start a run. The score, Bulldogs 6, Tigers 10, game 2, best of 5. Dogs take game 1. We are Westerly.live, all your Westerly sports all the time. If there's 2 at once, we update the other. And Beal with the set over the net. Number 11 set, again about 4 feet from the net. Soft spike attempt, set by Riddler. And a little miscommunication. Federico, nice spot. Federico takes charge. Spike to the back line, let go, or couldn't get to by the Tigers. Regardless, a point for the Bulldogs, and Federico will go serve. The score, 10-7. Bulldogs still right in it. Have climbed all the way back in it, I should say. We're never out of it. Knuckleball falling short, unable to be handled. That's all the spin. That was a beauty by Federico. Really a leader on this squad. And when this squad puts things together, they are the championship quality volleyball team for sure. I have high expectations of where they go in the playoffs, and it's early in the season. That serve handled. Spike attempt, nice job by Storr. And nice job putting it down at the net by Peliquin. Bumped over by number 5 for the Tigers. Storr with the set. Peliquin with the soft spike, and it goes out of bounds. Side out, 11-8. Still early in game 2, folks. Game 1 went to the Bulldogs, who pulled away late. And the whistle. Number 1 serving. Timas, the senior, with the ace for the Tigers. If you're just joining us, we are Westerly.live, and we are live with you at Federico Gymnasium, varsity girls volleyball action. Game 1 in the books to the Bulldogs. Game 2 is live. Bump, set, and the spike. No, bump attempt over by the Tigers. Storr to the back line. A bump set, number 5. See, that's what I'm referring to. That bump set was to the yellow line about 5 or 6 feet from the net, making that spike attempt go into the net. Bulldogs will definitely take it. I just feel like if their sets were closer to the net, those would be causing more damage. Bulldogs fortunate for that. The serve by Beal. Bump, 2 bumps by the Tigers. They dump it back over. Bulldogs keep it alive by Federico. And Peliquin brings it over the net. Struggling and unable to return it are the Tigers. Bulldogs grab the point. 12-10. Beal has to serve. A lot of hits to get over. Pretty slow. I think this one's even sloppier than game 1 at the moment, to be 100% honest. Both teams are better than they're playing. Nice serve. Barely handled. Gonna have to dump it and can't. Can't get it over in 3. That's an ace by Beal, and we have a 1-point game here, folks. In game 2, game 1 was very much like it. Bulldogs didn't pull away until they were in the upper teens. Right now we have a Tiger lead, 12-11. Bulldogs serve for the tie. Beal. We have a bump. We have a set. And a softer version of the spike. Federico with the bump over. Catches them off guard. They do return it. Riddler starts it with the bump. Beal with a back set. Spike attempt is Fazaro. A nice set by 11, and it's bumped over and handled by Simmons. Fantastic save by Riddler and brought in by Fazaro. That was amazing to bring that back. And in the face, spiked by the Bulldogs attempt, unable to return it by the Tigers. The point goes to the Bulldogs, and now they have awoken the beast. Timeout, Tolman. That one volley, they need to give their team a little rest. That was amazing. That was great volleyball by the Bulldogs, and that is when they are championship quality. That save by Simmons to Riddler to Fazaro, that was a highlight reel save, those 3 players. Got the official talking to the Westerly coach about something, but regardless, we have a tie score with momentum. Just that alone, just that 1 point, stole it, and that's why the Tolman coach immediately called the timeout. Because you can tell it's a new Bulldog team that quickly. And that's how good they can be. I mean, the Tigers really put that ball all over the place, and the Bulldogs still found a way to keep it in the air and put it down finally. So we are in game 2 here, a best-of-5 matchup. Bulldogs took game 1, and we are about to the halfway mark, and we are locked up 12-12. Bulldogs have the weekend off. Return to action in Woonsocket Monday night, 27th, 6:30 p.m. for a league matchup. They will finish the month of September on the 29th right here at home versus Block Island. Beal, the serve. We have a bump by number 5. A bump set, number 17, able to spike. Federico, bump. Simmons tries to put it down. It is handled by the Tigers. Spike attempt blocked by Pelican, and they bring it back into a nice no man's land. Nice play by the Tigers to come out of the timeout. Bulldogs can't do anything about that. Well played on both ends. So as I was saying, they will finish up September right here at home versus Block Island. So they can quickly finish at 6-1 in the league or at 3-3. Things can go either way. Spike serve off the net, handled by the Bulldogs. Pelican, spike attempt is going to be returned by the Tigers off the hands of the Bulldogs. Bulldogs point, did not touch. Side out for the Bulldogs. Fazaro set to serve. Correction, Summer Bruno set to serve. And the serve, number 5, with the bump. And the Tigers return it again to a spot that there is no Bulldog. And really difficult spots to place a Bulldog. Their placement is very difficult to return right now. Point and credit to the Tigers. I really can't discredit the Bulldogs at all. These are very difficult spots to hit. And as I said earlier, the talented squad we're playing. And a beautiful serve. Bulldogs don't handle it. That's an ace, 15-13. That's 3 in a row that quickly for Tolman. How far does the coach let it go for the Bulldogs before they call a timeout? I bet they get one more point, and that's it. If they get the point. Number 17, Jacqueline Silva Jr. serves. Beauty. Set by Bruno. Beal, and no communication. Falls in the middle of the entire team in a circle. 16-13. Letting it go through that. Bulldogs out of their flow at the moment for certain. Nice serve to the back line. Handled by Federico. Beal, nice bump close to the net. Bulldogs can't get it over. Another point, 17-13. Tigers slowly creeping away. 5 in a row they have at the moment. The serve off the net and over. The Bulldogs keep it alive and are able to return it. Oof, Bulldogs out of sync right now, and that falls short of the net, making it really hard on themselves, 18-13. And this is around the number I mentioned before. This is when momentum at every point starts to get bigger and bigger. The wick starts to burn. Deep serve, a beauty. Not handled well by the Bulldogs. Into the rafters. That's an ace. 19-13. No timeout. No idea, but this is a run for the Tigers. Game 1 to the Bulldogs. Tigers looking to even it up here. The serve finally goes out of bounds off the official chair. The Bulldogs get the point. Trail by 6. Set to serve, Gervasini for the Bulldogs, the junior. (19-14), the serve, a nice one. Handled by the Tigers. And their spike attempt, diving save, Gervasini in the middle. Beal has to dump and does. Falls between everybody. Number 5 for the Tigers, kicks it. Keeps it in the air, but unable to keep control of it. The Bulldogs take the point. So they got the point on the side out. They get the point on the serve. 19-15. Gervasini serving. This is an all-important service here. Need to catch up here a little bit. And that's going long, and they let it go, and it falls. That's in bounds. It falls in, a beauty. These knuckleballs dive, and it is an ace for the Bulldogs. 19-16. And the clamp starts to tighten. Game 2 action. The serve, a missile. Bumped by number 5, still deep. You're going to have to settle for a dump. Handled on the back end by Beals to Federico. Spike. Set up. Number 11 with the bump set. And the return to the back line. Into the net, and the Bulldogs side out for the Tigers. Bulldogs can't return. 20-16. Need a quick side out for the Bulldogs. Number 11, Hannah Adenai, I have said her name a few times, has had an active night, is their primary setter. Well, right now she serves at an all-important, a very pivotal point in these games. 25 win by 2. And the serve deep, handled by Gervasini well. Beal set, too close to the net. Bulldogs can't do it. 21-16. 4 away from a Game 2 victory to even things up here. Bulldogs need 9. Need a side out immediately. The serve, a nice serve. Handled by Bruno. Beal to Simmons. And that's going to be a whistle, and it's going to be a Tiger point. A 2-touch by Simmons. Bulldogs need a side out, 22-16. Got to get it back here. Coach is letting them play through this, testing her team. Excuse me. And they let it go, and it falls. They can't believe it. Stayed in bounds. I think I might have let that one go myself. So playing very well here. The Tigers, 23-16. And the serve to the back line. Gervasini handles. Beal with the set. And it's brought over by Riddler. Handled on set by the Bulldogs. Federico spikes up to the back line. Handled. That's Adenai. And the spike, it's going to stay in the air. And it is brought back over by Riddler of the Bulldogs somehow. Off it, they're going to have to return it right here. And they're not going to be able to. Oh, they do. And they're going to steal this point. Huge. Keeping them alive. That was for their lives, folks. 23-17. Don't get me wrong, they still need some points, and they need them immediately. In comes none other than Storr. And we have an updated Westerly football score. The Bulldogs are up 14-0. And that goes out of bounds for a huge point by the Bulldogs. I'll give you some details as time comes by. 23-18. Store at the service for the Bulldogs. Called on when you need it most. Nice serve. And they can't handle it. Miscommunication. Number one for the Tigers jumps in. And the Bulldogs liven up. Tigers call timeout. So what I have is the Bulldogs scored their first touchdown on a 35-yard pass with 8 minutes left in the first quarter. And they scored again on a 96-yard run by Zach Tuck with a little time in the first half. It is now 21-0 Bulldogs. 26-yard touchdown pass to Greg Gorman with 4:30 left in the first quarter. So the Bulldogs football team has jumped out immensely in the first quarter to a 21-0 lead versus Rogers. We have quite the opposite here. We have an absolute back and forth battle. So excitement-wise, I'd say we're winning at the moment in all areas. Bulldogs winning in both sports, and Store about to serve. 19-23. And the serve out of the timeout. Stays in, handled close to the net, and the Bulldogs try to block it, are unable to do so. Game point, 24-19. Timeout did its job for Tolman. And for the game, number 20 for Tolman to even this up. Turn this into a best-of-3 series. And the serve. Jersey with the bump. Set up. Federico tries to find a spot. Not handled well, but brought back over by Tolman. Federico finds the spot. Point for the Bulldogs. They are alive. They need 6 in a row, folks, to stay. They need 5 in a row to stay alive. Trailing 24-20. Riddler with the serve, the senior beauty. It's a back row handled by the Tigers. And they bring it back. Both teams not setting up anything very big. Everything's soft at the moment. And the Tigers find a spot, and the Bulldogs can't. Can't score on the beautiful serve by Riddler. And that is the story of game 2, folks. Coming in on paper, even teams. Right here on the court at Federico Gymnasium, even teams. We are through 2 games to 25. Bulldogs will have 1-1, and the Tigers have 1-1. We are Westerly.live. I'm the voice, Greg Moreno, alongside producer, owner Shane Belanger. We have Lisa behind the lens, product of Nomad Web Solutions, from the mind of Shane Belanger, cutting-edge website design and development, live streams, anything, weddings, memorials, fundraisers, board meetings. Go to nomadweb.solutions. We also have live sports action going on tonight. Up in Rogers, the varsity football team's in action, the Bulldogs, and they have jumped out to a commanding first quarter lead, 21-0. They have intercepted passes. They have a 96-yard touchdown run by Zach Tuck, 26-yard touchdown pass to Greg Gorman. And Rogers, an update, just scored on an 80-yard kickoff return as I was talking to you. Bring it 21-6. We are going to go off to a quick break here. All right, welcome back, folks. We have transformed from a best of 5 series to a best of 3 series. Take away 2 games, chop them off, erase them. They're done. They're gone. Now it's a race to 2. Whoever wins 2 games first takes the night. Bulldogs and Tolman alike chasing possession of second place here in Division 3. Both teams coming together towards the end of the game and pulling away. It was the Bulldogs in game 1. It was the Tigers in game 2. I'm still not going to say it's been a very, very clean night. But there's been there times where teams have been able to set up their offense. It's kind of just fly by, seat of your pants type thing, get it back over. So when the Bulldogs are able to set it up, they've had more success. And conversely, Tolman didn't really set up much, but had success off of the net. So we have our whistle, and we're about to start Game 3. Live here at Federico Gymnasium. Game 3 tied 1-1. Best of 5 series. Bulldogs versus Tigers. Tigers are 2-1 in the division. The Bulldogs are 3-1 in the division. Both chasing Central Falls, who is 4-0 in the division. I said prior to game 1, this one might go the distance. That's what the numbers told me on paper, and it's displaying on the court very similarly. So the Bulldogs will start out with Fazaro, Peliquin, and Beal at the net. Riddler deep. Federico and Simmons in the middle. The officials are checking numbers. And we have a whistle. We have a substitution before we even started. And the official's heading to his post, where we will start our race to 2. First team to win 2 games. First team to score 50. All right, here we go. The serve, a beauty jump serve. Handled deep, set by Beal. Peliquin. Spike, let go. Good spot. Good start by the Bulldogs. Peliquin finds a nice vacant area. Puts it down there. That's what the Bulldogs need. Just good play, good net play. Beal to serve for the Bulldogs. And the serve is an ace. Bulldogs are alive, 2-0. And there. And it is, the Bulldogs have scored again way up in Rogers. I'm going to keep us here in Federico Gym for a minute. The score, Beal, beautiful serve. A good set by the Tigers. Save at the net by Beal. And put over by Peliquin. She hit the net though. It's going to go to the Tigers. So there's a lot of action obviously in the football game and a lot of scoring in the first quarter. They're in the vicinity of a 28-7 lead versus Rogers. We'll let you know at the end of the first quarter or half how things go. Number 17 for Tollgate. Nice placement by Beal on a little sneaky move over. Tolman able to recover. Beal set. Peliquin spikes. Handled. Number 5 not close enough to net to get that one over. Still playing live. It's been awfully Bulldog. I don't know what happened there. Must have gone over just enough. A Bulldog got a hand on it. And that somebody else, the coach was asking, and that's what he says. 2-2 score here, folks. And the serve, a beauty, handled by Simmons. Beal with a rough bump to the back line. Federico able to get it over, but the Tigers block, take a 3-2 lead. Action-wise, at least score-wise, I think we're definitely at the right game tonight, folks. This one's going to go to the bitter end, back and forth. And the serve of beauty. Federico bump back, able to handle it, a nice job. Bump set off the net for the Tigers. Bumped all the way back by Riddler. Bump into the rafters by Pelican. Bump forward by Federico and brought back by Pelican. On the Tigers side of things, number 11 set to the net. Soft spike. Beal handles it in the middle. Pelican, two-touch, whistle blows. Point goes to the Tigers. Even that was a good volley, a decent volley, but both teams are capable of better volleys. Capable of better net play. They're not getting it up close to the net. Number 17 in the service, however, that was an ace. They would have been able to return it. Beal unable to put it down as the Tigers blocked her attempt, and it's a 5-2 lead for the Tigers here early on. If you're just joining us, this is game 3, best of 5. Bulldogs took game 1. Tigers came right back, took game 2. Here we are in game 3, the score. Tigers 5, Bulldogs 3. Bulldogs serve number 6, Harry Fazaro, the senior. Very, very active. Always, actually, but tonight as well. And the serve to the far side now. Side out, back to the Tigers. 6-3 score. Out goes Fazaro. In comes Bruno. Bruno only a sophomore. A lot of action. Pelican the same. Store the same. And the serve deep, handled by Federico. Set by Beal, back a little bit. And Riddler able to get it over the net, hits the net and falls innocently. Bulldogs catch a break there, 6-4. That's what I'm saying as far as getting it near the net. Riddler had to put more into it to reach the net because the set was about 4 feet back. Anyway, Tolman's been doing a lot of that, and they're right in this thing 1-1 with a 6-4 lead. Bulldog serve, Julia Gervasini, the junior. The serve, missile to the back, nice job. Two-touch by the Tigers, point to the Bulldogs. 6-5 score. And the Bulldogs trying to even this up here. The serve, a missile by Gervasini, some of the best serving we've seen. Tolman able to recover and get it back. Out of bounds they go. They're really not able to recover. Took a while, but it's an ace in my book. Gervasini having a heck of a night on the back line, bumping as well. A couple days in a row. Did well last game, as a lot of the Bulldogs did. So the serve for a Bulldog lead. No man's land, no one wanted it, and it's an ace. Finding her spot, speed, just clearing the net. Beautiful service by Gervasini. Brings the Bulldogs all the way back from 6-3, 4 in a row. It is now 7 Bulldogs, 6 Tigers. And the serve, trying to find her spot, they let it go. And it's in. The judge, a Tolman player, surely isn't going to lie. It's in. The team let it go. 8-6 Bulldogs. Great spot by Gervasini. Couldn't have better placement with speed or height. That's a missile. And the bump errantly goes over, and the Bulldog spike hits the net twice, rolls over. Tolman unable to handle it. 9-6 Bulldog lead. Gervasini doing beautiful job at the service for the Bulldogs. And the whistle, and another whistle. And here we go. This took 3 whistles, but we're live. A beautiful serve back corner. Handled by Tolman well. Spike attempt. Nice job by Bruno to bring it back over and save the Bulldogs. Keep the Bulldogs on their side. Prevent the side out. Cause a Tolman timeout. A lot of things it did. Bulldogs 10-6 lead. 5 straight service points. A 1-minute timeout by Tolman. Let the kids sit down and the ladies sit down and get a drink real quick here. These games are back and forth and a lot of action and exhausting to be on the court, especially if they go the distance 5 and they're close. And progressive scoring, constant vigilance. Can't let a team get too far away, knowing there's a lot on the line for an early season game here. We have a whistle, but there's still a few seconds left here in the timeout. And we are ready to get started again, folks. Bulldogs 4-0 lead. We are live here, game 3. Split game 1 and 2, so they go away. Bye-bye. And miscommunication, the Tigers are going to have to dump it over. They do. Gervasini again with a bump, a beautiful bump. Allows the set. And Simmons with, it dove, but did it dive on time? No. Nice spike attempt. Good offense by the Bulldogs. They went on a nice run there. The score 10-7 Bulldogs. And we have number 20 serving for Tolman. We have either Elaine Centillo or Brian Marcelino. Regardless, it's a knuckleball. Bulldogs bump it straight back. Brought straight back by Tolman. Bulldogs getting to an offense. Riddler with the swing attempt. And Tolman can't handle it. Bulldogs are more organized this game. Their defense is setting up their offense, and their offense is setting up well. Good accuracy as far as bumping and setting, and the Bulldogs doing whatever they want with their third hit, which has allowed them to come all the way back from down 6-5 to up 11-7. This is a pivotal game, folks. I'll tell you why in a moment. And it's out of bounds. Another point for the Bulldogs, 12-7. This is a pivotal game. This is a swing game. Because after this, whoever loses could be eliminated in the following game. So a lot on the line here in game 3. Out of bounds, and that's going to be an unearned side out, 12-8 to score. So you play under the pressure of elimination in game 4 if you lose game 3. And the serve by Tolman. Set straight up near the net. Beautiful job by the Bulldogs. Didn't handle it well, though. Out of bounds it goes. 12-9 the score. And here we go. Tolman trailing by 3 with the service, 1 in a row. And we're off. And it's a good bump. And tough spot. Federico handles it. Net, though. It's going to go Tolman's way, I believe. I don't know much about it, but no, I don't know. It does go Tolman's way. Bulldogs had the explanation, and we've too far into the net. Either way, it is 12-10, I believe, and Tolman is still serving. Back set over the net by Storr. Bump set by number 11, spike attempt. Brought back up by Riddler at the net. Federico hit the net. And I'm going to go to the scoreboard. It says 12-10. So that other play really had no points given. So, serving, trailing by only 2 in game 3 here. Ball's bouncing properly and can now be served. And we're up and we're in, and it's a point for Tolman. 12-11. Down by 1, game 3 here, Federico Gymnasium. We are Westerly.live. All your Westerly sports all the time. If it's here, we're there. And the serve. Up by Beal. Miscommunication between Storr and Federico. Both called it. Neither one relinquished. Aggravation on the side of the Bulldogs. I can see it. Tie score 12-12. Trying to talk through it. This is a pressure-packed game, folks. I don't really explain it well, but Beal, nice bump. Set up by Storr. Federico, spike. Nice spot. That's the Bulldogs. That's where they find their success. Right there. 13-12 lead, side out. Riddler, the senior, to serve for the Bulldogs. Playing a game 4, which is a guarantee. We are playing a game 4 with elimination on your back is a lot harder than playing with the possibility of victory. So whoever pulls this one out has that looming emotional, intellectual advantage going forward. You're playing for your lives in game 4, or you're playing for victory in game 4. With kind of like a free pass. Bulldogs looking to get in sync here. That was a nice job last to gain the serve. Nice serve and no communication by the Tigers. And aggravation set as they annoyingly smashed the ball to the other side. You got a whistle by the ref for that one. There are really no penalties or fouls now I think about it in volleyball. Nice serve by Riddler. And dumped back over, attempted to, and on 17 into the net. Bulldogs take the point, 15-12. Riddler, the serve. Not handled well by Tigers, but they do return it. Bruno, set, store, Bruno, spike attempt deep, side out. Tigers take the point before they get down by too much. 15-13 score here, game 3, folks. Bulldogs, 2-point lead. Important game, I'm telling you. Any sport. And we are changing service. Number 1 serving for Tolman. It'll be the senior, Tisha Timus. Whistles. And a freebie for the Bulldogs. Huge break. Quick side out, steal the point. Go on a little run right here. That's what you really want to do. Well, of course, you always want to go on a run. But this is a great time, too, because it's an emotional breakdown if they can run away here. 16-13. You got your best serving. Deep, unable to handle it well. They may be able to dump it back over, and they do. A nice job doing so. And Storr puts it backwards over the net. Spiked down by the Tigers. Quick return side out. And 16-14. No run for the Bulldogs. So we have a little repositioning and coaching from the sidelines, which the officials allow apparently. Federico with a nice deep knuckleball serve. 17 with the spike. See, that's where if they put that set there all night long, they would be a real tough team to play with. I'm telling you, their big problem tonight, and even in the game they won and now this game, is they haven't set close enough to the net. If you get Jacqueline Silva close to the net, she's only a junior. Her spiking ability is definitely key, quality. They're getting it all back near the back line, about 4 foot back. The serve handled close to the net. The Bulldogs able to save themselves. They are. As the Tigers tried to spike it down, and this is into the crowd. Number 11, gets it back, and Simmons spikes it down in his back now. Storr with the backward set, and they are able to put it down out of the reach of number 14, Rachel Federico. I probably missed like 3 of the hits there. I was going pretty quick, folks. 17-15 score. Point went to the Tigers, who now serve. Jump serve set. Here we go, into the net. The Bulldogs needed it, and they got it. Tigers unable to go on a run, unable to make a real streak here. Out goes Storr, in comes Simmons at the net with Telequin and Bruno. Beal serving, Federico in front with Riddler, and that's an ace. Miscommunication, not the time for that. Beal with the serve, 19-15. The serve, deep middle, bump. Bump set back off the net again. Forced to dump it and do a beautiful job doing so. Forced to side out. Riddler's bump went awry, and it's 19-16. And it's the Tigers' turn to get the ball. They have a substitution. In comes number 18. That's Isabella Gomez, the junior, at the net with primary setter Hannah Adenai. The serve handled by Federico. Bumps back, no man's land. Perfect spot, huge spot by Federico. Leader on the court, Side out. Point goes to the Bulldogs. They only need 5 more. 13 set to serve for the Bulldogs. That is the sophomore, Summer Bruno. And the serve, a missile to stay in. Yes, it does. That's an ace, 21-16, Bulldogs. Do they pull away? 5-point advantage, 4 points needed for this pivotal Game 3 win. And the serve, a nice one. Forcing action. They're going to have to dump it over, and they do. Nice bump by Beal. Up, and the Bulldogs can't return. 21-17, no quit in this Tiger team. Bulldogs need 4, Tigers need 8. I do believe we're in the exact opposite situation last game. Those numbers ring true to me here. As do the numbers as far as what's going on the court. Nice serve, handled by Federico. Beal, nice set. Riddler, spike down, point. Beautiful for the Bulldogs. Pressure pack scenario, they set it up beautifully. Started with Federico to Beal. Put down by Riddler. 22-17. Bulldogs need 3 to take Game 3 in this race, this best of 3. Gervasini, the serve. It's up and it's an ace. Just over the net, then dives. She has had a great game. Probably the best person to have back there at the moment. Timeout. Frustrated Tolman squad know the importance of this game. Motivated Bulldog squad over there. See if there's any updates. And the score for the Westerly Bulldogs, who, like I said, are up in Newport playing Rogers. And Zach Tuck is scoring a lot of touchdowns tonight. The score is 35-6 with only 6 minutes left in the first half. And that update was from less than a minute ago in real time. So our Westerly Bulldogs are doing really well. Nothing can compliment it better than the Lady Bulldogs taking home a divisional foe and a match of huge importance. They're in position to take a huge step in doing that. Only 2 points away from a 2-1 game lead in this best of 5 series. Tolman taking the court out of the timeout. And this is just such a huge point for Tolman. 1 point away from game point, and just the term game point puts pressure on you when the opponent has that. Gervasini to serve, a beauty. Bump, straight up, they're going to have to dump it over. Nice job by number 5. Did more than just dump it over. It took it control and spiked it over. 23-18 the score. Big serve here by the Tigers. And the serve to the backside. Gervasini, good communication to Beal. Riddler, the spike. Bumped up. Dumped over. Beal, bumped straight up. Simmons to Riddler. Back line, one-handed. Gervasini returns. Inbounds, and Tolman can't handle it. Didn't need to handle it. That was going out of bounds. What a break with the game on the line for the Bulldogs. Did not need to bring that one in. Did not need to try to bring that one back over. That was out of bounds, and that was a huge game point for the Bulldogs as they will serve for the win. And it is into the net. They can't do it. 24-19. Bulldogs need 1. All they need is a side out. They will not serve again. The Bulldogs will win on defense of a Tolman serve here. Beal straight up. Set by Storr. Tries to put it down, and she does. Federico stamps it. Puts a nail in it, ends game 3. So through 3 games in this best of 5 series, the Bulldogs 2 wins. The Tigers from Tolman 1. Bulldogs can clinch this best of 5 series with a game 4 win. or the Tigers can force a Game 5, playing for second place here, approaching midway in the season in Division 3. Both teams trailing at the moment, before the results tonight, trailing only Central Falls. Obviously, this is a big one to go jump in front of the other as far as wins and losses, but also as far as head-to-head down the line. Credit to Tolman. They have come in this Friday night, and they have given the Bulldogs everything that they have asked for, everything that we thought they were, they are. They're a scrappy bunch. So the Bulldogs football team also taking care of business up in Newport with a commanding 35-6 first half lead. As far as excitement goes, we are in the right place, folks. This is back and forth. This is going to go the distance. This is two evenly matched teams, and we are going to go to a quick break here before they jump back into it. All right, folks, here we go. You're going to hear a little more in the background now as the crowd starts to get into it. That's what I was referring to. Game 3, the swing game. That was huge for the Bulldogs. The crowd knows it. The team knows it. This entire gym is a different atmosphere as they take the court. If you're just joining us, best of 5. Two evenly matched teams fighting for it. The Bulldogs up 2-1 can clinch this one, put a nail in it, and take the victory with a Game 4 win right here. Tolman Tigers giving the Bulldogs everything that they asked for. Trailing 2-1, battled all the way through Game 3. Bulldogs pulling away in the end, but here we are, Game 4. Bulldogs can either clinch a victory, dispatch the evenly matched Tolman Tigers, and put a lock on second place in this division, or we can play more volleyball, go to Game 5. Here we go. Beal, serve, a beauty. Bump, set, spike. Brought back up. Nice job by Fazaro diving. And miscommunication on the Bulldogs end. And that's pretty much that is the formula for victory is what Tolman did. It was just a good bump, a good set, and a good spike to start. 1-0 they start. These games have rotated. They go back and forth within about 4 points of each other, all the way up until we get to about 20, and then one team pulls away. Bulldogs have been that team twice. This is Tolman, and this is a jump serve. And it's a beauty. It's number 5 for Tolman. Escudero, Bulldogs. And they hit the formula there. With the bump to set by Beal and Simmons with a beautiful spike. Putting it down. 1-1 tie here. So the Bulldogs with a chance to end it. Tolman knows it needs 2 more games to put it together. Tolman has to score 50 for the win tonight. Bulldogs only need 24. That's the difference in that swing game that we just took. Fazaro set to serve for the Bulldogs. And the senior serve doesn't make it. 2-1. Early lead for the Tigers. We are Westerly.live, product of Nomad Web Solutions, from the mind of Shane Belanger. Cutting edge website design and development. Live streams, anything, weddings, memorials, fundraisers, board meetings. NomadWeb.solutions. And this back and forth is won by the Bulldogs. 2-1 score. Neither team's really hit its stride yet at the moment. We are tied 2-2. I think both teams sort of played so well defensively maybe that they haven't allowed either team to get into a stride in both of these games. Each team has had 7-point runs, and the Bulldogs have had one 8-point run tonight. Missile serve by Gervasini. She's been on all night tonight, and they are unable to return it on the Tiger end. She has really put in a good quality effort here tonight thus far. Gervasini, that is. Excuse me, Gencarelli. And the serve. They do handle it off the net. Nice job by the Tolman. No quit. And the spike. Can't block it. Point for the Bulldogs. Senior Sarah Riddler takes care of it. 4-2 score. And Gencarelli back at the serve. Like I said, she's been money. The ball's been in her hands. Only a junior that served the back line. No communication. Goes out near the doors, and that's a point for the Bulldogs, 5-2. And you're starting to see a little bit of it on the court. One side of the court, a little bit more life than the other. We haven't seen that yet tonight because everything's been even. Gencarelli, missile, back line. Number 5 bumps it near the net. Sets up a nice serve near the net. Blocked by Federico for the Bulldog point. 6-2 score. Timeout, Tolman. So in what could be the clinching game, what is game 4 in the best of 5 series, Bulldogs ahead 2-1, and in this game they are up 6-2 over the Tolman Tigers. And the Bulldogs scoring in all fashions over there in Newport. Updates just coming through constantly. The Bulldogs got a safety versus Rogers and are now up 37-6. Still 4 minutes left in the first half. That's going to be a grueling second half. So back to the action here in Federico Gymnasium, where this has been nothing like that. This has been back and forth either way, so that is fantastic news for the Bulldogs on the gridiron. And this could turn into great news for the Bulldogs in the gymnasium. Gencarelli, another great serve. Good job offensively by the Tigers. Bad communication, and Beal recovers and saves it for the Bulldogs. A bump set near the net, and that's when Tolman does well. Beal brings it back in. Federico puts it down to the back level, and they're going to have to dump it over to a back spot. Saved by Gencarelli, brought up by Beal. The spike by Riddler, brought back in by Tolman, and over, and out of bounds. Bulldogs on the volley, huge volley. Big win for the Bulldogs. 7-2 score. Keep the ball in Gencarelli's hands. Bang. Line drive just over. Tough time handling it. And Federico does not touch the net. I don't believe. Point Bulldogs. Great D at the net. 8-2 score. It's kind of funny because whenever anybody does that at the net, the first thing they do is they swing their head right to the official just to make sure. This one's not quite high enough, but did create a little distance to score 8-3. And number 11 for Tolman, Hannah Adenai, the main setter and probably their best serve on the squad that I've seen thus far. Again, we're in game 4 here. Bulldogs leading 2-1 in this volleyball match. The serve to the back line, set by Gencarelli, dumped back over by Riddler. Number 5 with the bump, 11 set, a little bit back. Soft spike to the back level. Bump, nice bump by Gencarelli. Spike by Riddler, blocked by the Tigers, who are very excited. So there is no quit in this squad whatsoever. 8-4 score. Bulldogs are going to have to earn this, there is no doubt. And the whistle. And the bump by Simmons, that back over. And Tolman tries to block it, unable to it. The net didn't play their way, and the Bulldogs get the point and the quick side out, 9-4 score. You don't want to let Tolman breathe for too long. When you have a chance to put your enemy down, you don't want to let them breathe for too long. Because if they creep in with you this entire game and steal it, then suddenly you're at their do or die game 5. Nice serve. And a nice deep spike attempt. Federico had nothing, was having nothing of it. Point goes to the Bulldogs. Showing her net skills. Which you can't always put her there because you need her bumping ability off the serve if you have somebody serving really well. And that's a nice job of the Tigers just to get it over. Storr with the back set, getting called for 2 hands. Quick score makes it 10-5 Bulldogs. Number 20 serving for the Tigers. And the serve that is not going to make it. 11-5 Bulldog lead. Here we go now. Senior Riddler to serve for the Bulldogs. And Riddler serve. It's a beauty. Bumped straight up and bumped even further back. Not handled. Number 5 saves it for Tolman, and miscommunication for Westerly gives Tolman the serve back and the point. 11-6. And if you're just joining us, we are here in Game 4, best of 5, Division 3, Varsity Girls Volleyball action. We are Westerly.live, and Tolman trailing by 5, trying to stay alive. Got a football team up in Newport dominating their opponent, and that's an ace for Tolman. Very evenly matched volleyball match we got going here. Bulldogs doing a good job. Both teams doing a good job of preventing the opposite team of getting into a great rhythm. And that's certainly not going to make it. So it is 12-7 and a side out. Got a double swap here or something. Number 16 Pelican coming in. And we got Summer Bruno coming in, 2 sophomores. Alex Storr also plays a lot. She is in. Another sophomore. And the serve. Bumps close to the net. Saved by number 11. And let go out of bounds. Bulldogs point. 13-7. And when you can end it, quick pull away in the middle does it. 2-1, clinching game here for the Bulldogs, 6-point lead. The serve, a knuckleball, bumped close to the net. Had to back up, soft spike attempt. Beal with the bump set. Pelican, soft spike attempt, one in. Bumped into the net by the Tigers. Bulldogs giving the freebie, 15-7. Okay, so now the Bulldogs need 10 for the night win. Maybe it's 14-7. Bump to the net. Number 11 sets way back to number 5. That she likes to spike it from back there. That was a nice job. Bulldogs still playing off the net. Can't get the return. That's a nice job by number 5, Escudera. She really does a good job mid-distance from spiking and preventing the Bulldogs from running away with this. Score is 14-8. Serving for the Tigers, number 1, Tima Senior. Back line. Federico to Storr. Storr dumps it over. And now we have Riddler set. Bulldogs trying to save themselves here. And they're trying to dump it over. Off the rafters. Oh, they get called for something though. Timeout for the Bulldogs. I don't know exactly what the call there was. She brought it back from out of bounds. It hit the rafters and fell on the opposing side. So maybe when you bring it back, you can't hit the rafters. Or maybe we'll just never know. And the score, 14-8 here. Game 4, folks. Best of 5 series. Quick timeout. Bulldogs have the advantage and can win this thing if they can get to 25 in this game before the no-quit Tigers Both teams come in with one loss. Central Falls being the unbeaten leader in the division by only one game. This is a fight for second place and obviously an advantage with the head-to-head advantage in the victory. Bulldogs have the weekend off. They can grab a win here. Well, they have the weekend off regardless, but it's a better weekend. And go back to action on Monday. Conversely, the schedule has Tolman in some kind of a tournament tomorrow. So best of luck to them in that. We will not be participating. And the Bulldogs out of their timeout here. They need 11. Up at the net, you have sophomore Pellegrin, sophomore Storr, and you have sophomore Summer Bruno. 3 sophomores manning the net for your varsity squad. Extremely impressive on a couple levels. How well the varsity team is win-loss with all those sophomores, and how well that they play, that the coach trusts them there, and the future of the squad as well. So all things good for the Bulldogs ladies volleyball program, no question about it. We were saying the same thing in the spring when they were kind of putting this whole thing together in a rush. Now that they've had some time, they're still growing together. And that's going to be beautiful, just what they needed. Quick side out, 15-8 for the Bulldogs. Beal with the serve, trying to get a little bit more distance. 10 more for the Bulldogs. Race to 10, end of here. And the serve down deep, number 5 handle. Set by number 11, a nice set it is. Spike brought back in by Riddler. Set by Beal. And the spike down for that was Bruno. Spike by number 17 falls out. Out of bounds it is. Point goes to the Bulldogs, 16-8. And the side out, 9 points. And trust me, that number 9 is in the head of the Tigers as well. The serve. Bumps. No man's land, and now it's bumped back. No one's going to get it. 17-8. That 10 is now 8. Bulldogs need 8 to put this thing to bed for the night and to claim the division victory. The serve. Bump set, a nice one. Number 17, brought back in by Federico. And Pellegrin puts it over for the Bulldogs. Number 5, overhand, out of bounds. Nice spot. Number 5, side out, 17-9 score for the Bulldogs. Got a little update with the never-ending first half in the football game. So the first half is over up in Newport, and the score is Bulldogs 44 and Rogers 6. And the serve, a beauty. Bulldogs doing a good job of keeping it alive and getting it over. But standing at the net, number 20 for the block in this Tiger team who still has life in them. Down by only 7. So if you were looking for excitement, we picked the right place to be. Simmons with the bump. Set right back to her. Spike attempt into the net. Creeping back in, and the Tigers, 17-11. Their best server, only one employing the jump serve on either squad at the moment. And that one is a beauty. And it goes into the stands. It's an ace, 17-12. Timeout, Westerly. They've seen enough. Need a little break in the action so they can hopefully turn things around here before it gets too close. So Westerly holding a 5-point lead. They need to get to 25. They need to score only 8 more points. We are here at the Federico Gymnasium. Game 4 of a possible 5 if necessary. Bulldogs looking for the victory and are taking the weekend off. And if they're looking to buy or sell a house, they should call Mark Wright, the realtor, Caldwell Banker, Coastal Homes. Your satisfaction is Mark's first concern. Consider Mark for all your housing needs. If you're buying, you're selling, market analysis, anything. But in the meantime, we are back in action. 17-12, game 4. Bulldogs leading the series 2-1. And leading this game 17-12. Tolman's best service player, Escudero, up for the serve. That's going to go deep. Bulldogs needed that coming out of the timeout. Bulldog timeout works like a charm. An immediate point, an immediate side out. 6-point lead. 7 points away from clinching a division victory here tonight. And the serve, and that's not going to do it. Point back to Tolman. Side out. Number 17 for Tolman. Set to serve, and I would say that she is probably their second best service player on the team. Jacqueline Silva. 18-13. And the overhand. Deep handled by Federico. Beal bump goes out of the way. Simmons, nice job of getting it over. And number 20 wanted to tap it back down. Didn't get a good hand on it. Quick side out. Bulldogs point. 19-13. Substitution. Pelican gets a break. In comes Gincarelli, who has had a great night. Puts her into serve. Why wouldn't you? She has been launching missiles, and that was just too low. No team can quite grasp this one yet. 19-14. Quick side out and back to the Tigers. Their main setter, number 11, Adenai. Set to serve. She knows where she's placing it when she serves. And back line, Gincarelli bump. Now we have a good bump set in place. Beal returns it. Adenai set, nice one. Soft spike to Beal. Middle of the circle. Bumped, brought back in Simmons. And it's handled, dug out of the court by the Tigers. Bulldogs trying to use their feet and anything to keep it in the air. The Tigers steal the point. 19-15, game 4. Tigers down by only 4. The whistle. Number 11, Adenai, looking to bring this thing closer. Nice serve. Handled by Bruno. Bumped. Bump set by number 5. Good spot. And it isn't handled by the Tigers. Number 18 mistimed things. Gomez. The Bulldogs will take anything to end that run because things are getting quiet. Things getting a little bit tense. That run needed to end. 20-15. Bulldogs need 5. They need 5. And the serve, a beauty, back line. Set forward by 5. Set by Adenai. Gincarelli on the spot again. And this one placed to the back by Federico. Set a little too close to the net. Bulldogs handle it though. Whistle blows. Net violation on the Bulldogs. Side out. 20-16. Only up by 4 now. It is a Tolman serve. Game 4 here, folks. And we're off. Set up. And Beal will spike it, and it goes down. Bulldogs point, takes control, beautiful job. Bump by Beal, set right back to Beal, and Beal with the quick side out spike, 21-16. That was important, let me tell you. The whistle, the senior Riddler with the serve. A beauty, handled by the Tigers, set to no man's land. They have to dump it over. Set by Storr. Federico pushes it to the back end. Backwards bump. Gincarelli's there. Set by Storr. Spike down. Summer Bruno with the point for the Bulldogs. Only a sophomore. Looked like a senior there. And often does. 22-16. 3 points away from a victory. The Bulldogs, they can taste it. The senior serving, number 3. No one better with the ball. The line drive, beauty. Can't handle it. The Tigers, that's an ace. And the Bulldogs, 2 points away here, folks. They only need 2 more points. And the Tigers need 8 in a row. The serve to the back end. Set, number 17. Set, number 11 to the back end. Gincarelli keeps it up. Federico tries to put it down, handled. Set up. Set right back to Federico. To the back line, nice job. Forcing the Tigers who can't return it. And that was on Federico's placement. That's their point. And we are on that at match point, folks. This is a level above game point. This is a best of 5 match, and the Bulldogs have reached match point. Culmination of a lot of effort and a lot of work tonight for the division win. The serve, a knuckleball. And they are able to put it back over. Bulldogs up high and in. Tolman with a bump. Another bump deep. They're going to have to just dump it. And they can't. And the Bulldogs take the match. They didn't get it easily. They had to work for it, folks. The Bulldogs win in 4. 3-1 over the Tolman Tigers. The Tigers come in 2-1. Walk out 2-2. The Bulldogs come in 3-1. Walk out 4-1. With a handle on second place in their division. Trailing only Central Falls. Did a real good job. It was a very scrappy night by both teams. A lot of effort and emotion on both ends. As far as football news, the Westerly Bulldogs football squad's at halftime, and it's 44-6. So they're taking care of business up there too. Good night for Westerly Sports, and it's a good night for Westerly Live. So as that being said, I'm the voice, Greg Moreno, alongside producer, owner Shane Belanger. We have Lisa behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, a product of Nomad Web Solutions. Go to nomadweb.solutions. Everyone have a great night. We will return to action on Monday. Have a good weekend.